Smriti. I am a senior technical writer at Harness for the Chaos Engineering module. In this video, I will describe ChaosGuard, an important feature of the Chaos Engineering module that helps protect your chaos experiments. ChaosGuard, as the name suggests, is a guard or an additional layer of security that protects your chaos experiments from users who have access to chaos experiments. You can call these users as chaos enabled users. When your environment becomes advanced, you will require higher governance policies so that you can have extra protection against your chaos experiments. To minimize the blast radius and improve the level of security and mitigate potential threats, ChaosGuard helps you achieve this. Users who have access or permissions to execute your chaos experiments will be subject to further levels of security policy enforcement. There are different ways of enforcing security policies, such as regulating access to chaos infrastructure, that is, executing chaos experiments in chaos infrastructure in the namespace mode or cluster mode. The second one is controlling the type of faults that can be executed within a chaos infrastructure. Third one is freezing the runtime permissions based on the experiment execution within the target infrastructure. The 3 points I mentioned are just some of the levels of security policy enforcement. With ChaosGuard, every experiment run will have a security step that will be executed before your chaos experiment is executed. This way, the experiment is only executed when the ChaosGuard security step is evaluated and successful. In general, the flow of control looks like this. Check if any ChaosGuard rule has been enabled and evaluate the rule. That in turn evaluates the condition. If the condition is successfully evaluated, it is considered that the rule is successful and the security evaluation completes and the chaos experiment begins its execution. Now let us see the concepts associated with ChaosGuard and see how you can create a ChaosGuard. Log in to your Harness account and choose the Chaos module and jump to ChaosGuard. Here you will see two concepts, rules and conditions. Condition is a construct that is static, means it is predefined and it helps specify the constraints that can be applied, such as the faults on which the ChaosGuard is applied, the infrastructure, the namespace, the app label, the service account, and so on. The default structure of a condition is to either block a fault or a set of faults based on a execution context within a cluster or a namespace. To create a condition, navigate to Conditions on the right hand corner, select New Conditions, provide a name and select the infrastructure and select Save. Now you have three ways to create a condition: the visual way, the YAML way, and the Harness IDA way. Let us start with the visual way. Condition specifies certain constraints such as what, where, which, and using. What specifies the fault on which the condition is applied. Where specifies the infrastructure. Which specifies the namespace and the app label. Using specifies the service account. In the what constraint, you can specify the name of the fault. You can add more faults. You can delete them. And you can do the opposite of blocking a specific fault. You can ensure that except for this specific fault, all the other faults are blocked. This concept of negating can be applied to the where, which, and using constraints as well. You can specify the parameters here. You can also specify the fault in the form of a regular expression kind of pattern. Any fault name that starts with a node followed by any other term will be considered to be blocked for ChaosGuard. You can specify the chaos infrastructure here, select Done. Select all the namespaces and all the app labels to be blocked, and select all service accounts to be blocked. Once you're done with this, you can select save and save the condition. The second way of creating a condition is the YAML method. Instead of using the visual editor, you can directly come to the YAML editor and write the conditions. The third method is the harness IDA way. That is, instead of having to enter the values, you can simply type a statement saying block all faults on a chaos infrastructure that are identified by so and so. There are a couple of suggestions here and you can apply one of them. IDA generates a YAML for you that you can use by selecting apply YAML and clicking save. Our condition has been saved successfully. Let us take a look at it. Here it is. The second concept associated with the ChaosGuard is a rule. Always remember, create a condition first and then a rule, because one rule is associated with certain conditions. To create a rule, navigate to rules and then select new rule, provide a name, user groups on which the rule will be applied, select apply selected, specify the time period during which this rule should be executed. You can add more than one time window. Select next. Select at least one condition. Let us select the condition we created previously. Select done. This creates a rule for you. By default, this rule is in the disabled or the passive state. You can enable it by toggling the radio button.